Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader, Cody, and we are keeping it geekly with our returning guest, Pam Cakes. We're here to break down Art of War Chapter 6 and everything in between. Pam, welcome back to the stream. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. Just doing fan art this morning. Fan art and a banner. So just it works still.
Yeah, let's go. Are you participating in the 31 days of Inktober?
Probably not. I will be doing art though during October. I have a lot going on this month actually. I'm going to YumaCon this month.
Okay. So what's a YumaCon? Is that like a manga style convention?
Yeah, it's an anime and gaming event, and it's in Detroit, Michigan. They do it every year.
Oh, that's actually pretty close to where I'm at. That's like maybe a couple hour drive.
Yeah, it's really big, and a lot of people come from around the world just to go. It's always really packed too. It's really fun too. Like my favorite place is the gaming room. I'm always in the gaming room.
Okay, yeah. So are we looking at indie games, or do they announce like AAA titles? Like what all type of games are announced there?
I never really seen them announce games. It's really just like a big game floor. Like the game floor is huge. Then they have tournaments for every game. So like really mostly the tournaments are for the fighting games like Tekken, Mortal Kombat. They pretty much have like big tournaments for each one of those.
No, I got.
I've been in the Tekken one a couple times. The farthest I've gotten is the 4th round.
Let's go, dude. That's not too bad. Sounds like you're pretty good with the controllers.
Yeah, for Tekken, I would say yeah.
So speaking of fighting, though, Art of War, let's give a little bit of a recap on it, because this is an interesting concept for anyone that hasn't watched any of our previous interviews. Give us a little bit of a breakdown of what it's about.
So Art of War setting is where our characters can draw their weapon, literally, and that's pretty much the dynamic that I went off of and created a whole story around. And I guess it's the original story that started off as a webtoon I did. Then I moved it over to manga because it was much more convenient and it was more to my aesthetic of what I want to actually read anyway. So it just worked out that way. And yeah, it's set in a modern setting, but there is some kinks to time. The time points being there, as I have a main trio and 2 of the characters in my trio are from different time zones. So one is from the 1200s, a samurai, and the other is from the 1980s, and he's just like a cool 1980s guy. And I kind of made my trio from there, and the main character is from the modern day, and the modern day is where the story takes place.
Okay, and so far we are looking at chapter 6, but it looks like you have chapters 1, 2, and 3 up for anyone to read. Can you let us know where what platforms those are available on?
Global Comics. Yes, there's chapters 1, 2, and 3 are on Global Comics, and also Global's coming out with pretty much a new beta to where they're allowing like readers to review, and they're also coming out with a print on demand feature, and I think that's really cool. So I actually wanted to say that when I got up here, that Global Comics is actually doing their thing.
Yeah, we had the opportunity to sit down with Global Comics and Source Point Press yesterday and kind of break down that print on demand. So that was a really interesting conversation. How are you excited for that? What's that mean for you as a creator? Like, what's your thoughts on it?
Pretty much essentially you can do everything you want as a creator under Global Comics if you want to, and since they're growing, you can actually choose to grow with them if you wanted to as a creator. I think it's just it's like a win around for pretty much readers, creators, Global Comics. I think it's a print on demand, especially. That's a really good feature to have.
Yeah, it definitely, when we were talking, there's a lot of hype and a lot of excitement about it, and as soon as everyone found out, like, the indie community exploded. So is this gonna, like, push you away from actively, like, looking for a publisher? Last we talked, that was kind of like one of your main focuses, right?
Yeah, I'm actually talking to another publisher now, but yeah, print on demand, I would say that's next level, like, innovative for a platform. So like that can definitely keep a lot of creators there for sure, because you can essentially do everything and have your own business, your own readership, everything you want at Global Comics. So I thought that was really big, actually.
No, it definitely, I think it's going to be a big thing too. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to come, but I can't talk about it. But one thing we can talk about is the Art of War. Before we dive into chapter 6, let's give a little bit about the beta reading list. I'm going to be putting that into chat right now, but this is a really interesting concept too, and it lets you kind of get ahead of the pack. If I'm not mistaken, readers can have access, I think, up to 7 chapters?
Yeah, it's going to be chapters 1 through 7 with a bonus chapter 8. So I really just wanted to do the introduction arc of the story, which is really chapters 1 through 7. Then I'm going to add an extra chapter 8 to the beta reading. And that's going to be, I think it's going to go live maybe around springtime 2023. But you can definitely start signing up for it now. And it's pretty much going to be a big PDF of chapters 1 through 8 straight to your email. Like if you go sign up now, you'll get a welcome email, then it'll kind of explain that. And yeah, you'll get another reminder email later, and then we'll actually launch live and send all the PDFs straight to you.
So what are you looking for from a beta reader? Like, you know, for anyone that's signing up and interested, what would be some of the things that you would want from a beta reader?
When I actually send the PDF later 2023, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to send like a little survey type thing along with it. So after you're done reading, you kind of pretty much give what you thought about the reading and give your ideals. And I'm probably going to ask a couple of questions like who are your favorite characters while you're reading, and what was your favorite moment during the introduction arc. Just things of that nature, just to get a little bit of feedback, and just try to get people trying to share it around and get more aware of Art of War.
No, absolutely. And speaking of Art of War, I think right now would be a perfect segue. Let's go ahead and pull up chapter 6 and see what's been happening around with Eren. So we are starting off on page 1 of chapter 6. So give us a little bit of a breakdown what happened in chapter 5 leading up to this.
Yeah, well, essentially from chapter 3 onwards, these two guys and another guy, like, so pretty much 3 thugs, they caused a lot of commotion at this underground party where they're trying to meet this girl Saz Nova, and they're trying to like upshow her show, and that's her at the bottom of the screen at the third panel. And so after they cause commotion in chapter 4, Saz Nova shows up, and she kind of starts fighting these guys in chapter 5, and she pretty much turns the tables on them and counters their what they're doing, and pretty much puts on her own show, which was the purpose of her show anyway.
So give us a little bit about Saz Nova for anyone who might be tuning in for the first time. What's her importance, and you know what's she capable of?
Well, Saz Nova is a popular and very skillful artist in the city of Blue York. The setting is Blue York, and she's very popular. She's very skillful. She's an artist that everyone knows about. Everyone knows about on the street. Everyone knows about her online. It's just it's like she's our own an influencer essentially in the artist world. And everyone pretty much knows her. They know she's gonna put on a show, and she's kind of got this whole thing about being sassy. She wears like her whole brand. She got it on her hoodie and everything. I do think it's cool that we read the chapters here. It's like kind of exclusive things. If you want to read like chapters 2, 3, 4, and 5, you can actually look at the prior interviews. I thought that was actually a cool thing.
Yeah. I forgot who I was talking to one of my buddies the other day. I was like, dude, like we basically set up this whole thing where you can kind of go through each chapter with us. And for the most part, some of those chapters aren't even open to the public either. So that's like the only way you can do it.
Yeah, it's like an exclusive thing.
Yeah, dude. I think that's awesome as hell.
Yeah.
So right now we see Saz Nova taking 2 dudes just to town with her swing right here, knocking them off balance. But the other one right here looks like he might be getting ready to take on Eren. What's going on with Eren at this point? It looks like she's kind of going through some stuff too.
Yeah, so at the end of chapter 5, pretty much Eren kind of actually exploded with key serum energy, which is something that is this that'll be new to her as the story goes on. But yeah, Sasnova takes out the two thugs who were attacking her. The third thug who was going towards Sasnova, but Aaron kind of intervened. He's now attacking Aaron since she got in the way. And I mean, he probably had, I would say, probably some bloodlust towards her because she has key serum energy. He's like, okay, she's an artist, so I can attack her freely without really, caring too much. So he's gonna be trying to attack her now. You kind of see she's kind of disgruntled and kind of out of it. Next page, you can kind of see Sully there saying "wait" as someone is kind of like blurring by him. And the thug three, or the thug, I think he's, well, in the script, he's thug number 2. He's gripped by Bali here. And she actually throws him away. And you can see on her hand that is key serum energy. So that's kind of a little reveal.
So you don't need to draw the weapon necessarily. You can like manifest it and use just the energy itself as a weapon.
Essentially, it's a more skillful thing to manifest a weapon without like drawing it. But essentially, here she's just using her key serum energy itself to grab him and to throw him. It's kind of like key serum energy will kind of enhance you a bit.
Okay. Yeah, I just love how chaotic things got too. You know, because the last couple chapters built up this party, and then we left right when the party got started last time. So it's awesome to kind of see the climax of it happening. I love this little throwaway right here. Have a seat.
Oh yeah. I like the way Bali's on the screen here too. At the top of the panel, it's kind of like it's kind of like showing her off a little bit. And then the middle panel, that's kind of their weapons are kind of dematerializing. So that's weapons that they drew before. So they're gonna actually disappear back into key serum energy.
So when they get knocked out, is that what causes that? Like, what causes the weapons to do that?
Probably being knocked out, yes, because the key serum energy is probably decompressing, or since they're going to sleep, it's gonna fade away, pretty much type thing.
And then while we're here, who's all involved with the creative team? You're working with a studio for the art, correct?
Yes, the team is Kai-Fi Studio, and yeah, we're actually going pretty fast. I think we're on chapter 7 right now, and I'm drafting chapter 8.
I was gonna say, man, you are like, as soon as we're done with the interview, you're always like booking up another one like right afterwards. I'm like, dude, this dude is pumping them out left and right. Holy crap!
Oh yeah, we're moving towards finishing volume 1 for sure.
So we come to this page, and it looks like Aaron is not faring too well. Does this key serum energy take a lot out of its user?
Essentially, an artist will definitely be used to it happening, or used to key serum energy itself. But we'll learn in the upcoming chapters that Aaron is really not an artist, and it's kind of like a new thing. So it's kind of like she's an artist out of nowhere with these powers. So it's definitely going to be draining on her body if she's not used to it.
And we have her waking up in the hospital right here, not knowing exactly what's going on. So I love these next panel, these next scenes leading up to this too. After she kind of wakes up and realizes she's here. So give us a little bit about what's going on with Aaron in this current moment. Did the energy, mess her up, or what's going on?
Yeah, so Erin mysteriously just wakes up at the hospital. She kind of realizes that she has a gown on. She's like, "Am I okay?" And then you can see she kind of going through her memory of what happened at the Underground Showcase. And she's gonna be remembering that she was in a fight and she ran out there. She's not really a fighter at this point. And so it's like she ran out there not really knowing what to do, and so she don't really know what kind of happened type thing. She just passed out.
So I thought this was a really interesting page too. We see her get met up with her professor, and so I thought that was interesting because he's a professor at the art school, so he would know about this type of energy and this type of fighting, right? Like it almost seems like that school would be like a breeding ground for this type of thing.
Oh yeah. So Professor Maximus Pallet from Chapter Two finally returns here, and yeah, he's coming to check on Aaron.
I really loved this middle panel too. All the symptoms said coma, and it's just like the nurse swinging her around in the little chibi-esque type of design.
Yeah, like during non fighting and action pages or scenes, there's definitely gonna be some chibi moments and some kind of cheesy moments for sure.
Does that kind of help keep
And
like the
stuff.
pacing and the momentum going? You know, when there's not like action per se.
Yeah, in the writing part, for sure. Like, it definitely keeps me interested and entertained because I mean, I want to be entertained as a
Hmm.
reader and as a writer, so it's kind of like it works together as a mixture.
I love this too. You see her running into the door and like rubbing her head, you know, saying they try to bait the nurse with donuts to sneak past her.
Yeah, yeah. This panel was really funny to me. It's kind of like this character, Vicky, is kind of like a character that I can kind of like joke around with a lot
Hmm.
and kind of have her just freely speak without thinking too much, basically. So yeah, this panel was really funny. This page was actually hilarious. I actually like doing this scene a lot.
And then we kind of get a little bit of a segue where you see Aaron and the professor getting ready to sneak out while the other two friends are hanging back. And this is where things I think kind of get really interesting, you know, because I wasn't expecting this part to happen when I was reading it. So, you know, we have the two friends and the nurse saying, "Don't worry, we'll get back." The nurse, of course, is like, "Hey, like, you're not supposed to leaving." So I love like the personality of the nurse too. So right
Yeah,
here was interesting. Give us a little bit about this rooftop. Well, this I don't know if it was a rooftop, but like cafeteria-esque type of meeting.
yeah. It's like a outside type of courtyard thing at the hospital. So yeah, Erin is kind of like wondering, like here, she's like, why is that professor even here? Like in class, he never really pays her any special like attention.
Hmm.
So all of a sudden, he's here like at the hospital, you know, like meeting up with her when she's hurt and stuff, which is kind of not. I mean, I would say that's not weird for her to think that, but it's probably valid.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Especially if he doesn't pay attention to her in class. Like, you know, what's the big thing now?
yeah, like it would be okay if he's coming to see like a hurt student, but if this was like it's just like out of nowhere though, to where he's paying her
Hmm.
special attention though. And then next panel, she just like I don't know what exactly happened, but she can tell it's something with her body is kind of off or whatever.
And right here we find
Last
out that
couple,
some students also contacted him about the fight, so he kind of is in the know about what she's capable of. And then we
yeah,
end the last page on something big. So we have the history of the artist. And give us a little bit about this book because Aaron seems ecstatic to have it.
yeah, we'll kind of figure that out a little bit next chapter. But the history of the artist book, it plays kind of a big part in the beginning because it kind of explains some things about artists,
Hmm.
and then it actually is actually like kind of like a medium to something that'll really happen next chapter. So it's kind of like a little bit of a cliffhanger to what's going on in next chapter. And as I said, next chapter, chapter seven, that completes the introduction arc. So it'll kind of wrap up everything that happened from chapter one until chapter seven. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot going on in chapter seven, and that's what we're kind of working on right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
And
excited. It sounds like things are about to get even more climatic, you know, because once she gets the book, she knows how to start drawing weapons, and then the real fun seems like it's about to begin.
yeah, and the professor, him being there and having the students tell him what happened, like underground, or what happened with the fight or whatever. They probably said something about she had keystone energy coming off of her, so he's probably just kind of skeptical, like did she become an artist out of nowhere
Hmm.
and things like that. It kind of gets explained later that you know that someone's an artist, like they have artist powers from birth. So if she has it out of nowhere, he's definitely going to be kind of interested for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So after going ahead and breaking through chapter 6, we were kind of talking backstage, so I thought right now would be a perfect time to kind of segue to it. Give us a little bit about Magna Plus Creators. You mentioned that was a new platform.
Oh yeah, it's a new platform straight from Shueisha. That's who does like Shonen Jump and whatnot. So Yeah, it's a new platform. It's pretty much the same idea as Webtoons, to where anyone can upload, and the
Mm-hmm.
top creators from there has a chance to hop on the Shonen Jump Plus app. So it's like, and that's the same place that Spy Family is on, the same place that Chainsaw Man's at. So you got
Okay.
pretty much an opportunity to be like right next to them, where readers are looking at Chainsaw Man, then they're going to see you like right there in the lineup next to where they are. And if you still wanted to go that route, like that publisher route, that might be a good route, especially if you're in the manga side of things.
Mm-hmm.
It just it's kind of a way to get publicized there. Actually, I have the first three chapters are Art of War. I have those chapters there as well, as along
Okay.
with Global Comics. So it's kind of like a East thing, then a West thing.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome, and I appreciate you bringing that up, because anytime we can hear about new platforms, that means new people can hear about them too. So that's always awesome. And speaking of new people, I think now would be a perfect time for us to pivot over to our favorite part of the segment. Pam, you know the drill. You've been on here a handful of times. So we always like to end the show strong on advice for anyone who might be new, or anyone who might just be struggling in general with creating comics or manga or anything in between. Let's do it a little bit differently though this time. So what advice would you have for anyone who's actively reaching out for publishers, like on how like to properly talk to them, properly reach out to them?
I would say do a little research before. Like there was this a publisher called Dimpa, to where I when I first discovered them, I kind of sent out a submission email like right away, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't kind of I didn't research at all. But later on, I actually did some research on that same publisher, and I saw pretty much a quote from what the owner of the company said. So it was like an interesting quote, to where he was just talking about pretty much creators from in
Mm-hmm.
America doing manga. So I kind of took that quote, like, well, his first response when I first sent him a message, the submission, he wasn't interested at all, taking on new content. But when I sent him the latest email, I took what he said in that quote of his article, of his interview, and I kind of like screenshotted it and included it in the email, so he would have a place to come from when I wanted to resubmit to him, because he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't interested the first time. So this time he's a little bit more interested, and I don't know. I might have a chance to
Let's
get onto
go.
the Dimple platform. But if you do a little bit of research before you go towards the publishers, you might can just get like a little edgeway or leeway, or like a route to actually get them to actually look at your comic over another comic. That's
No,
another thing
absolutely.
Another thing I did want to say about Manga Plus creators platform, you can actually do vertical there. So anybody want to do the vertical scroll, like it's not just manga, it's actually vertical scroll there too. So if you just want to do your vertical scroll comics like webtoon
Mm-hmm.
style, you can actually submit those there too.
No, that's not bad at all. I love platforms that are really open up the ways for other creators to be included as well. And I think your
Hmm.
advice about reaching out to publishers, that's awesome too. You definitely want to do your homework and make sure you're upping as much in your corner as possible for these publishers to take notice. Pam, thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
back on,
definitely.
breaking down chapter 6. This is awesome, man. Got to get you back on for chapter 7. We got to take this all the way, man.
Oh yeah, I would say definitely sign up as beta readers. I definitely want to get that to as many people as possible. It's going to be chapters 1 through 8, like just delivered straight to your email.
Hmm.
Yeah, anybody want to sign up? It's in the bio of the Art of War page, and you can easily get there from my page, that Manga Cat.
And then we also just put it in the comments down below, and it says in the description as well. So feel free to click away, sign up. These chapters are awesome to read, and if chapter 7 is anything like chapter 6, it's going to be absolutely fire. Pam, thank you for coming by. Sorry we had to reschedule. I was not feeling the best Friday, but I'm glad we did, because this was an awesome, fantastic podcast, and I was happy I was able to give you my full energy.
Yeah, good Sunday actually.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, yeah, you guys heard it here first. Be sure to check out our past episodes to check out chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You had 6 right here. Hopefully we get you on back for 7 sometime in the future as well. That being said, guys,
Exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive. Thank you for that. Dude, when you told me that, I started cheesing so much. I was like, no way. No way.
You can
But
only
thank
get
you.
chapters 4, 5, and 6 here. I'm keeping it geekly.
Let's go. Keeping it geekly and keeping it Art of War. With that being said, guys, it is a lovely Sunday out there. Be sure to check out these chapters for free on Global Comics. That being said, it's time for us to wrap up. I hope you all have an awesome day, but most importantly, keep it geekly.